What is up, Soul Fam? It's Sundar from Substance Over Style and welcome to a new video. Let me just reposition, just trying to find all the different angles in this new spot that I'm in now. I think that's good. That's framing the shot nicely. Like, as you can see, I live in a big glass joglo. It's literally got windows. It's not got any walls, it's just got windows. So there's light coming in from all directions. So it's a little bit difficult to find the perfect angle, but we'll get there. Okay, so today I wanted to do a requested video from somebody who answered a Q&A that I did on my Instagram, and I'm not going to mention his name because he might want to stay anonymous. I think he might be asking for a friend as well, like you do. But anyway, he was asking, what can boys or men do about their kind of self-esteem and their confidence when they feel like they don't fit into, you know, the current beauty standard that's perpetuated in the media. Like, how can they boost their self-esteem? And I initially answered with, like, bear in mind that, like, you know, as a guy, you're not going to be as heavily judged on your looks as women, and women are definitely not so looks driven as men. So, you know, as long as you're on your purpose, you know, as long as you're in a position to provide and protect, you know, you shouldn't have a problem attracting women. But then he kind of replied and said, look, I meant more like generally, not so much when it comes to women. So, you know, on reflection, it did, you know, I think my initial response was maybe a little bit naive because I hadn't really reflected on this issue that much. Obviously, as a woman, I see that we're constantly advertised to, and, you know, this certain beauty standards are constantly being perpetuated that cause women to feel inadequate in order to sell products. And I didn't think that men might be going through a similar thing as well, because obviously, you know, the advertising industry has realized it's a really, really good tactic to make people feel like shit about themselves if they just perpetuate one type of beauty. Then that will, you know, be able, they can sell gym memberships, they can sell fat burning products, they can sell, you know, deodorants, they can sell toothpaste now. We've got toothpaste for men. And because there's so much gender-based conditioning in our society, you know, with all the female empowerment, and women are now stepping more into a provider role, into a more masculine role than was, you know, they were historically would occupy, men are now, you know, embodying more of their feminine, which is, you know, about beauty and sensuality. And so men are being objectified now in a way that women were always historically only objectified, and that is causing problems with male body image. I did have a look at, like, you know, a couple of different videos on YouTube, and I saw that this was actually quite a big deal for a lot of guys who felt, you know, marginalized by not being represented by the fashion industry, by the film industry, and all of that stuff. So I wanted to go there and talk about it. And, you know, I now recognize that maybe my initial response was maybe a little bit belittling and going, oh, well, you know, you don't have to worry about it like us girls. But, you know, he was just like, you know, us guys, it really affects our self-esteem. We get depressed and all of that stuff. So firstly, I want to talk a little bit. I want to talk about the body image issue itself. Then I want to talk about the depression. Let me just write that down, so otherwise I go all over the place and I don't say all the things I want to say. So the body image issue, and then I want to talk about depression, so let's stay on topic. Okay, so just when it comes to body image itself, you've got to be able to learn to accept the things you can change and change the things you can't accept. I think I said that the wrong way around, but y'all know what the phrase is. I'm learning to accept the things I can't change the things I can't, I don't even know right now. let's move on quickly. Yeah, so you know what I mean. If there's something about your body that you're not happy with, you know, you're the architect of your own destiny. See if it's something that you can change. If it's, you know, something about, yeah, your body, like maybe you want to lose weight, maybe you want to gain weight, maybe you want to get more toned. You know, if you start actually taking action towards it, and I'll talk more about taking action later, because y'all know I'm all about the masculine feminine polarity. Start taking action towards it. So, you know, go to the gym, you know, make sure that you're in, you know, in your peak physical condition, because health is wealth, and the more you embody like health and vitality, the better you will feel about yourself, because mostly that's all beauty is. It's just being a picture of health. Now, I realize that the media tends to perpetuate one particular ideal, you know, not a very diverse representation of what health actually is. So that's where it comes into accepting the things that you can't change, and being your own representation of beauty. Now we have social media, so now we can basically be our own content creators, we can be our own media. And you know, I've talked about this before, specifically with relation to female body image and representation and diversity when it comes to ethnicity and body type and all of that stuff. You know, social media and Instagram, YouTube has been a really, really powerful platform for people to represent how they want to see themselves, and how, you know, not just, you know, perpetuating this singular ideal that this is what an attractive man looks like, because not all women, and I know that you were saying that it's not so much about attracting women, but that is kind of how we balance our energy, and that is a lot of how we perceive our self-worth, with, you know, our sexual energy, our vitality, and our ability to polarize the opposite energy, you know, whatever gender of sexuality you ascribe to. I mean, if you're asexual, then maybe you have enough of that within you that you can just balance your own energies. But, you know, be your own champion. Like, you know, dress in a style that makes you feel good about yourself, and, you know, expresses whatever particular blend of masculinity and femininity you ascribe to and that you're feeling in the moment. You know, sometimes I feel best when I'm, you know, extremely feminine and I'm expressing that aspect of myself, you know, florals and, you know, beautiful jewelry, and, you know, showing different parts of my body, revealing and concealing and all of that stuff. And sometimes I feel most attractive and sexiest when I'm embodying more of my masculine energy, and I'm like going for a rock chick look and all of that stuff. So you got to find a look that works for you, and this is why I love fashion so much, because it's a way of expressing what's going on with us internally. And it also teaches people how to treat us, like how you treat you show others how to treat you by how you treat yourself. And the way that you treat your body by what you put into it, and then also what you adorn it with, expresses to others your level of self-esteem, as within, so without. So, you know, and it's also a way of expressing love for yourself. So if you're having problems with your mental health and, you know, you're feeling depressed, start by showering yourself with love, with loving attention. You know, whether that's, you know, taking baths, you know, getting a haircut, you know, going to the salon, and, you know, as a man you might want to go to like a Turkish barber, or, you know, whatever they have in your country, and get a wet shave, or, you know, get your beard groomed, or however you like to express yourself. You know, get a new wardrobe, or just reinvent your old wardrobe, learn to style it in different ways. These all help to build your self-esteem. And I'm not gonna buy into this whole idea that like our appearance doesn't matter, because it does. People judge us by, you know, the image that we send out. So yeah, you know, that is a way of, yeah, it's a way of embodying our feminine energy, but, you know, we're all masculine and feminine combined. Now, when it comes to depression, firstly, it might be a good idea, if you find yourself getting depressed, to get your testosterone levels checked. Because so I've been researching John Gray's work. If you haven't heard of John Gray, definitely look him up. He's the author of Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and he talks about masculine, feminine polarity. His recent book, Beyond Mars and Venus, looks into hormones in men and women. And what he's discovered is men, I wrote this down actually, you know, this is not my area. Men actually need 30 times more higher levels of testosterone than women to actually feel happy and to actually feel in balance and not be stressed. If your testosterone levels drop, that can actually cause all kinds of problems, like, you know, depression, can actually cause heart disease, you know, all kinds of issues to do with your stress and your cortisol. It throws all of that stuff out of balance. So, you know, get your testosterone levels checked, make sure that that's not the issue. And, you know, if you are having problems with your testosterone, there are ways that you can rebuild your testosterone without taking any kind of supplements or anything like that. I would actually not recommend that as a first resort. That should be an absolute last resort. In fact, he was actually talking about, you know, when people take hormone replacement therapy, it actually stops your body from producing those hormones. So, you know, ways that you can build your testosterone involve a balance of taking action, solving problems and crushing goals, and then rest and recovery. So you use up your testosterone when you're, you know, solving problems and taking action, and then you rebuild your testosterone when you're resting. So this is why men will often, like, you know, slump in front of the couch watching, you know, football or whatever it is, because he's rebuilding his testosterone. With women it's different, and, you know, if you want to learn about that, then go and research John Gray's work. I'm kind of diving into it at the moment, and I'll talk more about it in future videos. But also for men, activating a certain reward system helps to build up their testosterone as well. So whether that's validation that they get from women, or whether it's, you know, getting paid what you're worth, that's basically a reward system for men that helps spike their testosterone. So being on your purpose, you know, what are you here to do? This is, you know, I talked about this in another video about finding your purpose, aligning with your mission. So even if it's not about attracting women, because the feminine balance is the masculine, whether you're going to be a self-sourced, you know, you're going to balance your own masculine and feminine, which involves connecting to the divine, asking, you know, your guides, your angels, your, you know, whoever it is, whatever higher power that you pray to help align you with your mission and your purpose in life, because that will, you know, activate not just your testosterone, but it will just, you know, help you get off the couch or get out of bed if you're struggling to do that, you know, with, you know, if you're suffering from mental health problems. For me personally, when I was suffering from depression, now, you know, I've talked about this before, I had really extreme depressive episode at around 19, like a mental breakdown pretty much, and I had to take a whole year off uni. I could not even get out of bed. It was mainly triggered by the hormonal contraceptive injection, but there were also other things going on in my life that, you know, exacerbated it. And I developed some very effective coping strategies, and I made a vow to myself that I would never again become depressed. So even though I've been through multiple dark nights of the soul since then, because of those coping strategies, I've never actually gone into an actual depression. And one of those coping strategies, which I found incredibly effective, that my auntie actually suggested to me, was journaling. And specifically journaling two things. One was setting goals, so just a list of what I was going to do the next day, and it was really simple, very manageable stuff, like going to the shops, or, you know, getting my hair done, or making a phone call, calling a friend, and just being able to, you know, tick those off my list would give me like a boost of serotonin and self-esteem that would help, you know, get me out of bed every day and make me feel better about myself, because, you know, your positive thoughts will basically feed on themselves, just like your negative thoughts will feed on themselves and lower your vibration, so you can't even get out of bed. Your positive thoughts will give you that motivation to kind of keep going and keep crushing goals. The other thing that I would do, the other journaling exercise I would do, is a things I am proud of list. and it also operates in the same way as a gratitude journal. Now, doing gratitude journals are really, really powerful manifestation techniques because they raise your vibration. And if you're trying to manifest anything, you need to get your vibration operating at the frequency of gratitude and joy, and resonating at the frequency of the heart chakra, which is about, you know, balancing. It's the unification of, you know, masculine, feminine, and, you know, the higher realms and these lower earthly realms. So when you're vibrating at that frequency, then you can manifest things much more easily. So, you know, if you want to make it a list of things that you're proud of achieving, which it can be the same as your goals list, that will help you, it will boost your self-esteem and raise your vibration. Yeah, what else did I want to talk about? Yeah, when it comes to the testosterone as well, yeah, it's interesting because when I was researching the John Gray stuff, he was basically saying that, like, in male friendship groups, there will usually be an alpha who will have testosterone levels which are, I would need to double check this, but they can be up to 10 times higher than the beta in the group. And, you know, what this is basically a biological defense mechanism to protect, you know, the peace of the group, that, you know, you will not have two males with the same levels of testosterone, because what can then end up happening is they will end up fighting and competing and, you know, and just become too violent. So it's basically a way that males will, you know, cooperate. So, you know, there'll be an alpha, and then the beta will be like, you know, the alpha's sidekick. So, you know, I spoke to my boyfriend about this and asked him about, you know, how would this operate in your friendship groups? You know, who is the alpha? And what he said something very interesting, actually, and I've observed the same thing, that maybe in very socially conditioned groups there will be an alpha and a beta, but I think in you know, male friendship groups that tend to be a little bit more balanced and less socially conditioned, and maybe, you know, a bit healthier, and have a healthier definition of masculinity, one in which, you know, embodies also the feminine principle, there will be a rotating alpha. So it won't just be one guy. So he would say that sometimes his best friend was the alpha, sometimes he was the alpha. And I noticed that with my ex-boyfriend, who I went to visit in Austin, some of you guys might have seen, you know, videos where I was posting me being in Austin with this motorcycle group. He was part of a motorcycle group, and he would always be the one that would organize the rides and the get-togethers and plan everything, and he would always be the one leading the group. So he was the alpha in respect to that, but he was not the most masculine guy in the group. In that respect he was, but these were all very, like, these are bikers, you know, these are Texas bikers, so they're all very masculine. And what they would do is they all had their own little domain, they all had their little specialty, the thing that they were good at. And so, you know, look at your friendship groups, like, who are you friends with? Is there one alpha who tends to dominate over the whole group? Because if that's affecting your testosterone levels and causing, you know, you to become depressed and, you know, affecting your self-esteem, consider switching out your friends a little bit, and maybe be friends with people who are a bit more balanced, and who will allow you to shine in the areas in which, you know, you really specialize, and, you know, the areas in which you're passionate. So, you know, a group which allows all men to shine and, you know, be the alpha in their own domain is much healthier than, you know, one group where one person, and female groups are like this as well. There'll often be, you know, an alpha who will often have more masculine energy than the other women in the group as well. And for me, that's usually been me. And if I find myself in a friendship group where there's another woman who has more kind of alpha energy, you know, I don't have a problem with her, but I just know that that's usually not the group for me, because I don't like, sometimes I'm okay with being a beta in the group as long as I have another opportunity where I can shine, but, you know, my masculine energy tends to become a little bit too competitive. So that's, you know, for me, I don't like to be the beta in the group, so I need to find another group in which I can either be the alpha all the time or be the alpha some of the times and let other women be in their alpha energy as well. So, you know, just look at your friendship groups and, you know, how are you encouraging each other? Are you supporting each other? Are you allowing each other to shine? So yeah, I think that's it. That's all I want to talk about today. I hope you enjoyed the video. What did you think of this? Did this, you know, cause you to reflect on any particular issues that you're having? Share them in the comments below. You know, I love hearing from you guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please share it with anybody who could be helped by this video. And also, if you want me to answer your question, feel free to suggest it. You can DM me on Instagram. If you want to book a session with me, I'm also doing sessions. They're 50% off during coronavirus. So yeah, just DM me on Instagram if I can help you with your particular issue that you're having in your life. And I will love you and leave you. Thanks for watching, Soul Fam, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
You're introduced to LSD, and unless you've taken some other drug, like for instance like marijuana or something, well, you know, it's an altogether new thing, and you actually can have a religious experience